Right now we go to our Michael McKee. Both he and I have interviewed Randall Quarles any number of times. Mike McKee, this is a new job. Explain to our global audience how not only is he a governor, but he's a vice chairman. I thought Stan Fisher was a vice chairman.
Stan Fisher is the vice chairman of the Federal Reserve. This is a new position that was created at the 2010 Dodd-Frank law, the vice chairman for supervision, who is essentially the Fed's point person on bank regulation. The job was never filled under President Obama, so he's the first one who will have the formal title, although Dan Tarullo was essentially the vice chairman for supervision for the last 5 years, Tarullo leaving the Fed in March.
Mike, we've got a photograph of a younger Quarles standing with Secretary Snow, who I believe was of Republican persuasion. Will Democrats push back against this new vice chairman?
There doesn't seem to be a lot of reason why they would not like him. He is an establishment Republican who worked in the administrations of both George Bushes at the Treasury Department as, at one point, the Undersecretary for International Affairs, another the Undersecretary for Domestic Finance. So he has a broad experience. Again, Republican, but that shouldn't be disqualifying. He does believe in a lighter touch in regulation, but it suggests that he is from the establishment wing, not going to be a bomb thrower, not going to be someone who wants to tear up Dodd-Frank, but rather work around the edges to ease the burden on banks.
What does that actually mean? Mike, we're looking at and we're trying to understand how regulation is going to be changed. Is he simply just going to say enough is enough, we're going to stop there, or is he actually going to roll it back?
There's not a lot he can do because much of it is written into the legislation, but he can affect the way things are enforced, Guy. He can also change some of the Fed's regulations, and they regulate the biggest banks in the U.S., such as the stress tests that they do every year here. There has been a feeling at the Fed that maybe that's too much. They could do it every 2 years. They might do that. They might lighten some of the requirements of the stress test.
Yep.
There is hope that he can set a tone for the other banking regulators in the U.S. as well, a lighter hand.